With a star-studded cast as massive as that of Doomsday, I can't be the only one that has been wondering just how much it would take to pay all those actors on top of all the money Disney will still need to pay for the production and marketing of this movie. With RDJ and the Russo brothers already officially commanding nearly $100 million for Doomsday alone, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this film is not going to make a profit. So, since nobody else is crazy enough to do it, I went through the trouble of tracking down exactly how much each and every one of these actors on this list made in their previous superhero appearances, and use those figures to estimate just how much they'll be paid for Doomsday. And now is probably a pretty good time to say that this video from beginning to end is based entirely on speculation. I'm taking available information about other films which themselves are mostly speculative and using those figures to guess just how much Avengers Doomsday is going to cost. Emphasis on the word guess. It simply cannot be overstated just how much I do not know what the fuck I am saying. I'm not an industry insider, nor am I a corporate accountant. Is it? Neither am I a corporate accountant? I don't know, y'all figure it out in the comments. I'm just a guy in Nigeria that has refused to stop thinking about Avengers Doomsday because Avengers Endgame saved his life. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's begin. The most comparable movie to Doomsday is Avengers Infinity War for obvious reasons, so a lot of our figures are going to come from there. But the budget for Infinity War is very, very uncertain, and the figures are so precarious that even to this day, insiders still speculate it could cost anywhere between $325 million to $775 million, which is fucking crazy. But the directors say it costs around $500 million, so we'll go with that. Infinity War's budget is $500 million, its marketing is $200 million. Of the $500 million, $200 million constitutes how much was paid to the actors, which means that $300 million was used purely for production. This includes things like the sets, the costumes, the visual effects, the practical effects, the crew, the locations, the writers, the catering, the post-production, and the pre-production. All that cost around $300 million. Remember this number, it will be important later. Now, let's run through the cast. RDJ officially gets $50 million. This doesn't include the possible 10% of the movie's profit that he most likely negotiated for, like he did with the last two Avengers films. The Russo brothers are officially getting $40 million, and now we are properly entering the realm of speculation. So, moving forward, any number I call for any actor is just the amount of money they got paid for their last appearance as that character in a high-budget superhero movie. There's no reason to think they would get paid any less for their next appearance, and it's possible they got paid a little bit more, but for the sake of being conservative and somewhat rational, we will stick to their most recent salaries. Chris Hemsworth gets $20 million because that's what he got paid for Love and Thunder. Tom Hiddleston will get $10 million because he got paid $8 million for Infinity War and he only showed up in that movie for like 3 fucking minutes, bro. Paul Rudd gets $10 million, Simu Liu gets $5 million, Pedro Pascal gets $10 million, Vanessa Kirby gets $5 million, Joseph Quinn gets $3 million, Ibon Moss Backrash gets $3 million, Louis Pullman gets $1 million, Ian McKellen gets $10 million, Sebastian Stan gets $2 million. Now, for the next 6 actors, no one really knows how much they got paid for their previous appearances, so based on how much other actors on this list got paid and leveraging how popular their characters are, I made an educated guess for how much they would likely get paid for Doomsday. Kelsey Grammer gets $2 million, James Marsden gets $5 million, Channing Tatum gets $1 million, Rebecca Romijn, that's how it's said, right? Rebecca Romijn gets $2 million, Patrick Stewart gets $10 million, and Alan Cumming gets $1 million. Back to my industry sources. Letitia Wright got paid $700k for Black Panther, so that's how much she's gonna get. Tenoch Huerta gets $500k, Danny Ramirez gets $400k, Anthony Mackie gets $10 million. That's what he got paid for Captain America 4 Brave New World, but I definitely believe that number will be cut in half for Doomsday simply because of how unpopular his Captain America is. Florence Pugh gets $2 million, Wyatt Russell gets $700k, David Harbour gets $2 million, Hannah John Kamen gets $400k, and Winston Duke gets $500k. Chris Evans is not officially on this list, but you'd be a fool to think that Marvel could bring back RDJ for an Avengers movie and not bring back Chris Evans as well. So, Chris Evans gets $20 million. You add all that up and you have $227.2 million, plus $300 million for production and $200 million for marketing. That's a total of $727.2 million, which will be approximately $730 million because fuck you. This doesn't include any extra surprise cameos from Deadpool or Wolverine or whoever the fuck else Marvel might pull out their ass on opening day. Once we run the numbers, what Watch my Death of Superhero Movies video to understand how this math works. When it's all said and done, the break-even point for Avengers Doomsday is going to be $1.46 billion, which will also be approximating to $1.5 billion because fuck you again. So it needs $1.5 billion to break even, and anything after that is going to be profit. Considering that Infinity War made $2 billion, the title of this video might not be entirely accurate because I do actually believe that Doomsday might get close to 2 billion. Even if RDJ takes 10% of the profits, which would equate to 200 million, that still leaves $1.8 billion, which would put them 300 million in profit. But that's entirely dependent on them making $2 billion at the global box office. Keep in mind that I still don't know what the fuck I'm saying. In 2 years, this entire video could be proven to be completely inaccurate for all I know. I just find it fun to speculate about and break down box office numbers, so that's what I did. 730 million is still a lot to spend on one movie though, and making only 300 million in profit out of a $2 billion box office is so fucking crazy. Subscribe to my Patreon for Weko's Echo. That's my Patreon exclusive weekly podcast where I review movies, answer your questions, and react to Reddit stories. Well, this was fun. Subscribe to my Patreon, link in the description, and I will see you guys in the next analysis.